Looks like we are live for day 290. Today, we're going through a sub-to hybrid deal. So what's a sub-to hybrid deal? So if you've been following our lives, we've been doing a lot of sub-to deals where we are buying a property, but we are taking over the payments on the underlying loan, which means that we're taking over the payments on that property. Now, usually if there is an equity portion, sometimes it's cashed out with a down payment to the seller, or it can be potentially be financed as an equity portion. So hence why we call this a hybrid deal, because sometimes there is a, hey, what's going on back in San Diego? Thanks for asking, man. So to with a sub to hybrid deal, we got a property today that the seller seems to be probably in a bad position. They're going to finance $44,970 in equity at 0% interest rate. And I say that this is a unique situation because when I looked at the entry fee breakdown, it's $33,250 to the seller, but then there's a $0 assignment. So which means this wholesaler is just marketing the deal and trying to get rid of it. And when I looked at this deal was listed on Redfin not that long ago. It literally closed a month ago. It closed on June 12th, 2024 for, I'm guessing, 310 maybe. Sometimes they don't disclose the sold price or closed price. So I'm assuming it's somewhere along those lines. So using this, so I'm assuming that that person or that buyer, now the current seller, bought this property. Now they need to get back out for some reason. Maybe they need the capital for some other reason. I'm not speculating, but let's go ahead and take a look at this property, right? Because that's why they're selling it as a 0% interest rate. So let's go ahead and get some details. Overall, the property looks fine. I mean, it looks pretty turnkey. Maybe I'll just put aside some money to paint the place, but that's pretty much all I'm going to set aside for property renovations on this property. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this number. And today I'm going to make this really quick and really fast because we want to see whether or not we're going to cash flow on this deal. Okay, let's not overthink this one. 320 grand. So I got that in B4 now for $320,000. 3.12% interest rate on underlying loan. For those of you watching Instagram, I'm just going to keep moving around the screen so these numbers can show up on the page right here. Let me see if I can lower this. There we go. 0% interest rate on a secondary loan. Total monthly payment of $22.45. So let's get my seller equity portion. So my existing loan is $241,780. $241,780. 3.12% interest rate. 8/1/2050 was the maturity date, so this means to start 8/1/2021, 30 years before that. Just backing into that. Then the seller portion is 44970. This is going to be a 0% interest rate, 30 years. Doesn't look like there's any balloons here, so I'm going to do just 30-year balloons. And it's going to start in 7/16/2024, just making it easy on myself using today's date. No money in arrears. You'll be taking over an investor position. They did not know about the rental restrictions. Ah, interesting. I wonder if they bought the property and then all of a sudden they realized that they can't short-term rental it or something like that. I'm assuming this is in Lake Ray Hubbard, so maybe they thought it was going to be STR right by the lake, and then they found out something. So really good to know. If you're buying an HOA, always make sure that there's no rental restrictions or minimal rental periods, because that could jeopardize whatever exit strategy you have. And you got to read through the fine print. 12-month minimum lease. There you go. You can't just rent it on a 3-month or 6-month midterm rental to a travel nurse or anything like that. It's got to be 12 months. So that's perfect for Section 8. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. 3-bed, 2-bath. All right, slow carry. All right, I think I got all my numbers in here. No assignment fee. All right, so now that I'm putting my rest of my numbers here, I'm going to put in my rehab calculator. This is probably 1760 square feet. And like I said, I'm only going to put inside 2 toilets for high pressure flush toilets, and then we'll do 1760, so $3 a square foot to paint the place. I always leave aside $5 for landscaping to keep things clean. There's probably not much landscaping, but I'm gonna leave that in case just in case, and $1,500 for the roof. So that gives me total rehab of roughly around $9,800, just in case. And if not, I just leave that in reserves, because I always personally I always leave about 6 months of reserves in my properties. because I would much rather not ever have to think about reaching to my pocket to cover an expense. All right. The next thing I need to do is I need to get the fair market rent. So to do that, what do we do, right? If you've been on these lives with me before, we're going to Google HUD FMR. We're going to click on the first link. We're going to go down to access small area FMRs. We're going to look up FY 2024 small area FMRs. We're going to Texas. And what county is this in? Kaufman County. All right, Kaufman County, just by doing Control Find on Redfin for the word county, and that's going to give you the county. And now I'm going to know the bedroom count. Maximum rent for 75126, 75126. You're going to see the maximum rent for a 3-bedroom is 2940. Cool. 2940. And then the 4-bed is 3760. Whoa, 3760 is a lot. Oh, sorry. You guys got some 0% issue related code deals, 10% of the side reserves. Let's go. All right, so we got 2940. We got our market rents here at affordablehousing.com. So where do we go, right? We go to affordablehousing.com. We'll go to the owner's market rent estimator, plug in the address, plug in bedroom count, and we are going to have a market rent of 2,300. 2,300. That is well below your ceiling rent of 2,940. Now, why do we care about this, right? This is within a half-mile radius, right? So I'm pretty confident in 2,300 because of 23. I mean, it's pretty small radius. Let me just go check it for a 4-bedroom after I put in all the rest of these numbers. 2150 and then 2043. So this area is already higher in rent compared to the rest of the county. What's about 4-bedroom? A 4-bedroom is 2,464. Not much lift at all. Not much lift at all. That's a 0.43 mile radius. So no point in converting this property to a 4-bedroom because you're only getting a lift of about 150 bucks. Not worth it in a situation. 2533, 2525, 2455. All right, now that I got my rent here, right? You might have thought, oh, let me convert this to a 4-bedroom. All of a sudden, my 4-bed fair market rent will be $3,760. All right, that's almost an $800 increase. But why is not the case, right? That is not the case because of the rent reasonableness test. All right, if you go to the Housing Choice Voucher Guidebook, right, and HCV stands for Housing Choice Voucher. And this was formerly known as the Section 8 program. If you go to Section 2.2, there's a test called the Rent Reasonableness Test. It means that, and it states that the PHA, or the Public Housing Authority, must determine whether the rent to the owner is a reasonable rent in comparison to rent for other comparable unassisted units. So, even though the rent ceiling might be $3,760 for a 4-bedroom, you would be grossly overstating your rents or estimating your rents by almost 1,300 bucks. And that could be the difference between you losing money and you making money. And if you went into this deal thinking you're going to get 3,760 when auto market rents is getting 2,460, you would be dreaming and you would probably be in for a very bad reality check. So hopefully that helps somebody and hopefully that saves somebody money for thinking that might have been the case. All right. So now that we got the rents, right? We got the market rents for a 3-bed in 75126. Let me make sure I got this number down. 75126. 75126. Boom. Now that I got my rents, I have to go lower the two. So because I see 2,300 for a 3-bedroom compared to 2,940, I'm running this deal at 2,300 bucks. All right. What other details do I have on this deal? All right. For this deal, I got 320 grand, $900 for rehab, $2,300 for rent. For my property tax and insurance, I got to back into it, right? So how do I back into it? If I know my total PITS 2245, including it, make sure I 2245. I'm going to sell B28. I'm going to equals 2245. Subtract the principal portion of the subto loan, subtract the interest portion of the subto loan, and subtract the principal portion of the seller finance note. There's no interest because remember, it's on a seller finance 0% interest rate deal. So all payments are principal only. So when you got that piece in place, that gives you your remaining amount for taxes and insurance, right? And as always, I assume someone's living there as a primary residence property and insurance goes up every single year. So we're gonna add extra 30 bucks on there. I got 10% set aside for maintenance. I got no money for HOA, right? Because the HOA was already disclosed and added into my total payment of 2245 earlier. That was included in B28. I had 10% for property management. I got 5% for vacancy. So this, if I rent this property out as a 3-bed for 2,300, I will be negative 550 bucks of cash flow a month. That's a negative 12.9%. And you can see why this investor is trying to get rid of the deal. It really doesn't make you money unless you wrap it or you figure out to rent it out as a furnished rental, maybe for a year at a time. But your market's going to be severely shorter in that type of scenario. Okay. So for me, this is not a deal. Okay. This is not a deal for me. And unless you wrap it, obviously, $37.90 is not the rent you want to use. Thank you for tuning into the live today, guys. Hopefully I saved you guys some money. And hopefully you guys don't buy this deal. All right. But if you're wrapping it, it might be a good deal. Again, this is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments on this call. Simply showing you all the work that I'm doing every single day to put in the reps and just get practice in. All right. If you guys want to copy the spreadsheet, go to affordablehousing.io, not .com. Go to the Get Deal Analysis tool. Plug in your name, email, phone number. You get the spreadsheet sent to you right away. And my honest hope is I hope you copy my homework today. Analyze the same deal using the same details right here. I got sent this deal from other folks, and you just got to do it. Show them how to wrap it. Hey, I mean, I'm not a wrap seller because I don't personally want to manage all my outstanding loans like that. And if anybody ever wants to just pay off their loans completely, that's a risk of a wrap, right? One is people not paying you right away. Secondarily is you expect to make most of your interests, but if that person ever becomes financeable, they will probably refinance you out to a lower interest rate, right? Usually when you're wrapped, you're lending out the money on a much higher interest rate. And in this scenario, there's just so many complexities in here because one, you got to make sure that person is paying you because you have to make sure that the underlying loan on a sub-2 deal is getting paid every single month. And that's a tremendous amount of responsibility that I do not take lightly. And I would not do that unless you have a ton of cash in reserves because if that person, your wrap buyer, ever defaults, well, you are now in for a whole lot of work. And frankly, it's not worth my energy. That's why rap is not my business. And I just focus on affordable housing development. That's my full-time focus. So I hope that gives you guys some perspective. I think a lot of people make a lot of money in raps. I'm just not that passionate about it, to be quite honest with you. So have an amazing evening, everybody. Hope you guys all had a fabulous Tuesday, spending time with your family and friends. I did my live a little bit late. I had a 6-hour flight today, coast to coast. So, hey, no excuses, right? We're still here. We're still putting in the work. We're getting our reps in because this is what it's about. It's about creating the habit so that it feels weird. Even you're so tired from all that traveling, playing with your kids, whatever it is that you have that responsibility for, there will always be a reason for you not to do the work, for you to not be consistent, for you to not keep doing it. And my hope is that you keep doing it, and keep doing it alongside with me, and you got someone to hold you accountable. And I really hope you all, when you guys go live, tag me, let me know about it, because I want to subscribe to you. I want to be your supporters. I know how hard it is to build a following. I know how hard it is to stay consistent. So any way I can help to support you in your journey, please let me know. Please DM me. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for caring about affordable housing. Seriously, without all of you, I would never have the home I grew up in. I've been spending the past 5-6 weeks in the same apartment that I grew up in, hanging out with my parents, and it's was incredibly wholesome. That couple of weeks I spent because then my daughter got to play in the same apartment that I grew up in, and when you can find joy, even when you live in a small apartment, doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Hopefully that makes you feel like you got nothing to lose. Because worst case scenario, I just crash with my parents. So hopefully that helps you guys take some risk, believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and know that you're not alone. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day. I'll be back again tomorrow for day 291. All right. Have an amazing day. I'll be back here again tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.